There's a handful of fights in MMA history that you can genuinely watch over and over again. This is one of them. In the blue corner, Jiri Prochazka, one of the best Muay Thai practitioners in the business, with some of the craziest training methods, and in my opinion, the coolest MMA fighter in the sport today. He's like if Yoshimitsu from Tekken was a real person. In the red corner, Randy Couture II, Glover Teixeira, the oldest first-time champion in UFC history. This guy lost a title fight to John, where did USADA say steroids, Jones, at UFC 172. 7 years and 15 UFC fights later, Glover finally made it to the top of the mountain in one of the best moments in UFC history.
And I just walk out, and then after I lift my arm, I was like, I'm a world champion. I'm a world champion.
One aspect that doesn't get mentioned with this fight, it was a karate showdown. Jiri with his black belt in Kyokushin, and Glover with his counted 8th degree black belt in Kajukembo. I'm pretty sure that last sentence caused Wonderboy Thompson's head to explode. It's a cool fight on paper, but it becomes an epic battle for the ages, with literally any context. Let's fucking go already. You got what kind of fight this is going to be within seconds. Glover throwing kicks and Jiri doing a fire dance. Jokes aside, how the hell do you fight this guy? He doesn't have consistent tendencies, he always switches stances, he constantly checks your hands, and he tops almost anybody in mental toughness. Glover doesn't give up on that takedown though, and eventually gets Jiri down. I will say, being mounted multiple times by Glover and living to tell the tale is a hell of a flex. Jiri is a fellow student of Derek Lewis's dojo of Just Stand Up. So, as you might expect. How does Jiri respond? A flying knee. Is anybody surprised? Good body kick by Jiri. Glover fires back with a couple shots of his own and lands another beautiful takedown. In most cases, if he gets a hold of you, you're absolutely fucked. Glover with some heavy ground and pound. Jiri forced to give up his back, but then he pulls the same move that Alaquinta did in his fight against Khabib, noticing Glover was too high up. Beautiful defense and some big return shots to close it out. You're telling me we have 20 more minutes of this? Round 2, stiff jab to start by Jiri. Bisping had a great point, and something I've been saying for a while. Jiri can fight long, but he could fight much longer. He doesn't use that to the best of his ability, and it'd save him a ton of damage if he took that advice to heart. Glover's having a hard time reaching, and Jiri senses the moment. Right hand, jab, and then a flying knee. Glover's hurt, he's retreating, Jiri gets in the pocket, and what in the holy fuck are these shots? But they land. Glover pulls guard, it does not stop the onslaught one bit. Jiri is just flowing, man. He lands almost every punch, Glover trying everything in his arsenal, but Jiri is relentless. Glover needs to find an opening, and with 90 seconds to go, he finds it. It's not enough to win him the round or anything, but the objective was get Jiri to stop hitting me, and that objective was accomplished. Big elbow busts Jiri wide open at the end. Glover's another good example of a guy that builds as the fight goes on. Round 3, both guys have a bit of a feeling out process. Jiri doesn't want to get taken down again, and Glover doesn't want to get hit again. Jiri swinging, but not landing a lot. Glover with some great old man head movement, at least until Jiri finds his left. Both guys exchange calf kicks, a lot of staring in the mirror, feinting, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Jeez, Jiri's left from southpaw is tagging Glover. Jiri seems to find the range within a minute or two of the round, and then he lands damn near every shot after. Knee lands big, but Glover eats it, grabs the leg, and gets himself another takedown. I wonder if Jiri was banking on the knees to the body finishing things. Like, I don't care if he takes me down because it's only going to take 2 or 3 of those to land. But turns out, Glover's still tougher than a $2 steak at his ancient age of 42. Jiri with a huge hook to the body, and Glover shoots because of it. I swear, Jiri switching to southpaw was money. The striking isn't working, the takedowns aren't working anymore, and with Glover pressed against the cage, Jiri goes off. Hooks, uppercuts, knees to the body. Glover shoots again and gives up half guard. That blood is bothering him a lot, too. Horrific mistake by Jiri trying a jank Darce choke against a jiu-jitsu master. That's certainly a choice. Coming out for round 4, Glover needs to get respect on the feet. He needs to go forward and land, and that's exactly what he does. Little more staring in the mirror, both guys are tired. Jiri goes southpaw again and lands a huge step in left. Glover is not deterred though. He pushes forward, he lands a couple of shots, he's shooting again, he gets his hands locked, and Jiri goes for a ride. 3 minutes to go, and Glover gets mount again. Rather than going crazy with ground and pound though, Glover wants that arm triangle. Being completely honest, I think he jumped on it a little too quickly before it was secure, and Jiri with some beautiful submission defense to get out of it. Some solid ground and pound by Jiri, but then Glover reverses position again. This fight being a jiu-jitsu battle was not on my bingo card. 5 minutes to go, nothing but respect for these two legends. Glover comes out with the same game plan as round 4, and it works again. Massive right by Glover, his biggest shot of the fight, and he's looking for the finish. Jiri made his gigantic mistake earlier, and here was Glover's. He was silly and jumped the ghillie, as Dustin Poirier would say.
It's gonna be bad, man.
Both guys fighting in a phone booth. They both need this round, and who the hell knows what these judges are scoring anyway. Glover's standing his ground though, he's not backing up, and his shots start to land. Jiri's defense really does leave a lot to be desired when someone isn't scared of him. Now Glover's the one landing almost every shot. He's coming on strong 22 minutes into the fight. Crazy. Watching this fight for the first time, this is the moment I thought, well, Jiri, it was a good run. Glover has mount, 2 minutes to go, both guys are exhausted. And here was the oh fuck moment. But Jiri only has a minute. Who knows what these judges are seeing? What do either of these guys have left? Jiri slides his arm across the neck, and when Glover didn't react, Jiri jumped on it like his life depended on it. No hooks in, but a perfectly sunken in choke. Glover, one of the best feel-good stories in UFC history. Randy Couture 2 is forced to tap. Glover would retire after his next fight. We all knew that he was about ready anyway. And Jiri remains a top contender at light heavyweight, only losing to Poatan and having his brain shut off against Ulberg. This fight more than delivered. I'd say it exceeded even the biggest Jiri and Glover fans' expectations. I'm sure we'll continue to see the Glover influence in his coaching, and Jiri still has more left in the tank. 30 seconds left in a fight where both men were on the cusp of victory several times. Jiri proved to have just a bit more left to give.